What recently transpired in the realm of reality TV? Royalty will astound you. Fans are calling the recent sighting of Kirk Frost. Yes, that Kirk Frost from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, a complete betrayal bombshell. For weeks, there had been rumors circulating, along with street whispers and mysterious social media posts, and now there are pictures. The internet is in full meltdown mode after Kirk was allegedly caught red-handed, lip-locked with a gorgeous young model. However, it doesn't stop there. The twist? Shortly after the video started making the rounds, Rasheeda, his longtime spouse and business and life partner, went live. And believe us when we tell you that this wasn't your typical PR cleanup. As she reacted in real time, supporters were left clutching their pearls, emotions were running high, and tears were hardly contained. Was there a breakdown? A retort? Goodbye? This narrative has it all. Treachery, heartache, and a family that is barely hanging on, from rumors of a long-forgotten marital problem to suspicions of a covered affair. Get your tea ready, because we're going to go into great detail on how a single scandalous kiss might ruin our reality TV business. The drama is far from over, so keep watching. It all began on what appeared to be a typical night in Atlanta, with no press conferences, award shows, or cameras running for the Love and Hip Hop crew. But controversy doesn't wait for the lights to be on in the city that never truly sleeps. On social media, a shaky but damning video started to circulate. People were arguing over whether Kirk Frost was actually in the video, and at first it was only a whisper, a faint hum of conjecture. However, as more video emerged, it became horrifyingly obvious that it was Kirk, and he wasn't alone himself. Wearing a casual designer hoodie, Kirk looked clearly at ease in the video as he stood outside what fans immediately recognized as a high-end downtown Atlanta lounge. However, it wasn't the attire that caught everyone's eye. The woman was the one, youthful, tall, flawless skin. She looked like she stepped out of an Instagram influencer reel, with her hair falling down her back. As if they had known each other for ages, she leaned in close to Kirk, whispering in his ear, laughing, and then the kiss. Not a kiss. Not an error. However, it was a slow, long, and purposeful kiss that eliminated any possibility of misunderstanding. The video was uploaded on all of the main gossip sites in a matter of minutes. The fans were taken aback. Comments began to pour in. Isn't Rasheeda still his wife? This man continues to embarrass her. This is what he does after she forgave him for everything. It was a betrayal of history, not just a controversy. Fans thought Kirk had finally turned the corner after years of battling through allegations of cheating, secret babies, public infidelity, and more. Only a few weeks prior, he had remained silent and out of the spotlight, even sharing adorable photos of himself with Rasheeda. However, it appeared like the past was happening again, this time with much more venom. The atmosphere in the Frost home was everything but serene. Rasheeda was caught off guard, according to a close family acquaintance. It wasn't until her phone exploded at 2 in the morning that she realized there was a video. She initially believed that one of her children had been harmed. However, she noticed a deluge of direct message links and the message, "Girl, do you see this?" Her stomach fell as she texted. According to the insider, she was in complete shock. No way, she insisted repeatedly. Never again. Not after all that we've endured. However, it felt different this time. Because Kirk was acting messy in public, not just behind closed doors. Digital receipts were served alongside this humiliation. Fans who had always supported Rasheeda were suddenly questioning her entire brand, including Pressed Atlanta, their collaborative projects, and her reputation as a strong but forgiving woman. Rasheeda's team confirmed within hours that she will go live to resolve the issue. Hearts pounding, fans waited with their eyes fixed on Instagram. Would she stand up for him once more? Would she lose it? Would she eventually say enough at this point? Speculation skyrocketed as the countdown to her live session got underway, and Kirk was nowhere to be seen behind the scenes. He had left the house earlier in the evening, according to family sources, and had not come back. Some others thought he was hiding away while they waited for the online storm to subside. Some claimed he was with her, the unidentified model whose name was still under wraps. To find out who this homewrecker may be, followers were already searching through follower lists, geotags, and recent posts. The following day, shortly after noon, Rasheeda went live. She had no gloss or makeup on her face, just unfiltered emotion. As the comments flooded the screen with hearts, prayers, and people asking her to tell her truth, she sat in silence for a while. Then she inhaled deeply. "I didn't want to come on here," she said in a steady but shaky voice. "I didn't want to turn something that was deeply upsetting into a show. But you all, especially those who have stood by us through it all, deserve to be honest. Indeed, I did watch the video, and I do feel hurt, profoundly." Fans were taken aback. They weren't used to seeing the calm, business-minded Rasheeda like this. This was a real-time unraveling of a woman. With tears in her eyes, she added, "I've been doing everything I can to keep this family together. I thought people were capable of changing. I was a believer in forgiveness. But right now, I'm just worn out. I'm sick of being made to appear foolish." The remarks started to flow. "You are worthy of better. Kirk has been rubbish. Go away from him, sis." She did not identify the model. She didn't check to see if Kirk had admitted. Her next statement, however, completely altered the situation. "I have had to deal with whispers before," she remarked. "However, this was made public. This was intentional. And now it's not only about me. It's also about our children, our companies, and our legacy." Fans realized then that this was more than simply drama. It was war. Rasheeda thanked everyone for their support, but made it plain that she needed space before ending the live stream. She did, however, leave her admirers with one shocking last statement. And to the woman in that video, "You knew exactly who he was. You were fully aware of what you were doing." Boom! It was the microphone drop that was widely shared online. Hashtags like #TeamRasheeda, #KirkCan't, and #VoiceTheModel were popular on Twitter by that evening. Everyone wanted to know why the Frost family's private lives had once again been the subject of front-page rumors. Although Rasheeda was grieving in public, her inner circle was burning in the background. Shirlene, Rasheeda's mother, reportedly became enraged and went in search of Kirk right away. A friend of the family revealed, "Shirlene doesn't play when it comes to her daughter. She was the one that forewarned Rasheeda right away. And now that it has occurred once more, she's all set to go to hell." She also did. She unexpectedly appeared at Frost Bistro a few hours later. According to witnesses, she barged in and demanded answers. According to reports, Shirlene yelled, "Where is he?" leaving the staff speechless. Is that rude boy lurking somewhere? Workers attempted to soothe her, but to no avail. The mother bear had been let out. Kirk, however, remained quiet. Nothing to say, nothing on social media, just silence. And the situation was exacerbated by that silence. His Instagram started to overflow with fans who tagged him in the video and added snake emojis to each picture. His direct messages, a battlefield. His trademark, sustaining severe injuries. And it became much messier just when everyone believed it couldn't get any messier. Another video surfaced. Even more damning was this one. There was no space for conjecture, no hazy shadows, and no easy denials when a second video surfaced. Shot from inside the lounge where Kirk and the unidentified model had shared that now-famous kiss, the new footage was incredibly clear. Kirk was shown in the video sitting in a VIP area with a small group of people with bottles all around him. The internet was rocked by what transpired after the kiss, though. He had the model sitting on his lap. She was at ease, not merely flirting. In a moment that completely destroyed any remaining defense, Kirk pulled out his phone, showed her something on the screen, and they both laughed after she massaged his beard and murmured into his ear. Then she leaned in once more, and Kirk drew her in this time. Admirers, lost. Theirs, mine's. That isn't arbitrary. He has been teasing that person. One user posted a tweet. Another said, "I'm done defending this man." Rasheeda's patience in enduring this for so long is worthy of a damn Peace Prize. The second video received over 1 million views on various platforms in a matter of hours. Kirk was no longer only popular in the entertainment industry. The tale was widely shared on blogs and celebrity news websites, which viciously dragged him along. Once a mainstay of reality TV culture, the Frost name was now associated with yet another controversy. Kirk, however, said nothing. However, another person didn't. The prototype. Suddenly, an Instagram story from a previously obscure account surfaced. "Wasn't trying to be messy, but I'm not hiding either," said the caption of a selfie video that featured the same woman from the viral video sitting in a car and straightening her hair. With just one post, the internet went into a frenzy. Fans quickly located her profile, her identity, her modeling portfolio, and old photos that, you guessed it, featured images taken inside Frost Bistro months prior. She had been present. This was nothing new. Her live session followed. "Look, I didn't plan for none of this to blow up," she said, smugly smiling as she stood her ground and confronted the drama. "I didn't intend to expose anyone, and I didn't shoot any footage. However, I'm not going to be hauled around like some homewrecker. Kirk and I, we have been cool. That's all I have to say." The remarks were harsh. You were aware that he was married. "This isn't cute, girl. Nice? Do you think it's cool to sit on a married man's lap?" She didn't give up, though. She yelled, "Kirk has been acting single. Avoid coming after me. Perhaps go ask him why he keeps returning." Boom. The live ended. But what about the harm? Just getting started. The mood within the Frost home was said to be unbelievably strained. Even though Kirk had finally made it home, he didn't show up with flowers or an apology. Insiders claimed that Rasheeda would not talk to him. While Kirk paced the hallway outside, attempting to explain, she had locked herself in the guest room, crying into her pillow and listening to old Mary J. Blige songs. Kirk was like a dog with his tail between his legs, said a family member who wished to remain nameless. "Let's talk," he said as he continued to bang on the door. "Let me clarify." She wouldn't have it, though. Rasheeda yelled. Then the altercation broke out. The insider claims that Rasheeda finally threw open the door and let out years of pent-up suffering. "You missiled me," she allegedly screamed again. "You said you would finish this. After the baby and all the infidelity, I brought you back, and this is how you pay me back." Kirk apparently stated, "It wasn't what it looked like," in an attempt to defend himself. "I was intoxicated. It was merely flirting." Rasheeda abruptly interrupted him. "You kissed her because you were sober. I'm sober enough to get her number. Intoxicated enough to make myself appear dual in front of everyone." According to reports, the debate continued for hours, reverberating like thunder on a stormy night throughout the Frost estate. According to reports, their adolescent son fled the house with a friend in order to escape the mayhem. Employees were instructed to take the day off. What about Rasheeda's phone, still exploding? Fans, meanwhile, came together more forcefully than before. Women from all over the world shared videos urging Rasheeda to finally go. Memes went viral. One included Kirk wearing a clown wig that had been altered, while another featured Rasheeda wearing a superhero cape. The most surprising aspect, though, people began researching the history of the model, and everything was made worse by what they discovered. It turns out that she had dated Kirk's well-known associate in the past, a club promoter who had collaborated with the Frosts in past Love and hip-hop seasons. Screenshots of previous Instagram comments showed that Kirk and the model had flirted for about a year. "You always look amazing, ma," one person even remarked. Receipts stacked. The press followed. The article "Kirk Frost in Hot Water Again. Is Divorce Coming?" appeared in TMZ. There was a whole timeline post for the Shade Room. Hollywood Unlocked even contacted Rasheeda's representative for a response. And at last, Kirk spoke up. He wrote, "Not everything you see is the full story." Beside a black and white image of himself seated by himself at a dining table, "I'm praying." That was it. Don't apologize. Rasheeda is not mentioned. No credit is given to the videos. He was dragged for it by fans. Prayers. Sir, you need lawyers. You wasted the once-in-a-lifetime forgiveness she gave you. 12 hours earlier, this man truly stated prayers, as if he hadn't been kissing an entire Instagram model. The silence that ensued, however, was what gave everything an uncanny sense of familiarity. Kirk stayed out of the spotlight, allowed the heat to build, and hoped the storm would pass, just like the previous time he was involved in a cheating incident. Rasheeda, though, this time she wasn't going silent. She grabbed a few items and left the house with her children on the third day. Insiders claim that she is currently residing at her mother's house. Her personal social media accounts have vanished, but her corporate pages are still operational. And people are asking aloud if Kirk and Rasheeda's relationship is officially over. Just when you believe that this narrative can't be any more bizarre, an unexpected character shows up. Jasmine. That Jasmine indeed. The mother of Kirk's former side baby. The night Rasheeda left the house, she tweeted something mysterious. Patterns remain constant. All they do is repeat more loudly. The internet grew exponentially. Just a few eerie phrases made up the tweet. Patterns don't change. All they do is repeat more loudly. But Jasmine's message was a smash in the world of hip-hop drama and reality TV. Fans understood her meaning right away. Jasmine wasn't merely making fun of people, she was dragging skeletons from the cemetery. She had recently returned to the public eye after shocking everyone by exposing that Kirk had fathered a child behind Rasheeda's back. This time, she wasn't by herself either. Jasmine was allegedly getting ready to deliver a candid interview, according to an unidentified blog that has previously published exclusive love and hip-hop tea. Not only about her history with Kirk, but also about her knowledge of his present way of life. Kirk had allegedly been spending evenings away from home for weeks, in addition to flirting and kissing a young model. According to reports, Jasmine had pictures, messages, and even direct messages from other ladies, some of whom were going to speak forward as well. The web prepared itself. Tensions were rising at Rasheeda's mother's house in the meantime. Miss Shirlene, Rasheeda's mother, who has never been afraid to voice her opinions, was furious. Insiders claim that she had previously told Rasheeda on several occasions that Kirk was unreliable, and she now felt validated. She allegedly told her daughter, "You have to let that man go, baby. You've already been embarrassed by him. He's been given too many opportunities by you. He isn't necessary for nothing." Heartbroken yet choking back tears, Rasheeda had reportedly replied, "I just feel stupid. After everything, I genuinely believed that we were at last on the mend." Miss Shirlene then decided to take matters into her own hands. Ignoring calls in the media, she headed over to the Frost house where Kirk was holed up without warning. Neighbors said that their altercation was loud enough to shake the block as she repeatedly knocked on the front door until he replied. "This is the last time you have made my daughter feel ashamed," she reportedly yelled. "You're 20 years old and out here kissing small girls in clubs. You have a wife, children, and a full family, and this is how you behave?" Cornered and worn out, Kirk allegedly attempted self-defense. "People are exaggerating things, so it's not like that. I had no intention of hurting her." Miss Shirlene, however, would not have it, didn't intend to. "Kirk, you gave a woman a kiss in public, and you have the audacity to pretend to be a victim while sitting here." After over 15 minutes of yelling, she hurried away, threatening to divorce Rasheeda if she didn't. The Jasmine interview came out just as Kirk believed the heat couldn't get any worse. It was emotional, unvarnished, and damning. Jasmine explained everything while seated across from a tiny YouTube host. She said, "Listen, I'm not here to cause trouble. However, I believe Rasheeda is entitled to the truth. Everything." She disclosed that Kirk had been creeping around for the previous few months, meeting models, sending direct messages, and even going to events outside of town without ever bringing up Rasheeda. He had a reputation in Atlanta's nightlife scene, according to Jasmine and the young model in the video. Jasmine remarked, "She's not the first, and she most certainly won't be the last." The fans were blown away. Screenshots of text threads, grainy photos from bars, and even a voicemail purportedly from Kirk that said, "I'll be back at the suite in 20, were among the receipts Jasmine possessed. Put on the black item I like." It was disastrous. Fans rallied more than ever for Rasheeda to go, as her entire marriage appeared to be a skillfully stitched sham. A commenter remarked, "Girl, pack the rest of the bags. He is for everyone." Imagine supporting a man through both infidelity and a side baby just to be betrayed once more. She should begin to heal rather than to forgive. This is where things became even more messy, though. A bottle girl who worked at the same lounge where the initial kiss occurred shared her perspective on social media. She claimed to have spotted Kirk at least 4 times with various women in the same location in a string of Instagram stories. He kept a low profile, tipped handsomely, and always requested a seat where the cameras can't reach, according to her. Screenshots, witnesses, new direct messages. The web continued to tangle. Kirk had nowhere to flee after being forced into a corner. At last, a member of his inner circle, an old friend and fellow cast member of Love and Hip Hop, attempted to repair the damage. "Kirk is going through a rough time, man," the pal remarked in a live interview. "He certainly made a mistake, but he is only human. Everybody makes errors. All he wants to do is speak with Rasheeda and tell her everything." Fans, however, weren't buying into the sympathy. One person commented, "He didn't make a mistake. He made a decision. Again and again. Rasheeda too. She didn't say anything until she did." Rasheeda went live on the 5th day following the scandal's explosion. Before speaking, she looked into the camera for a long, silent period. She was wearing a hoodie, had little makeup on, and eyes that were obviously teary-eyed. She said, "I wasn't going to do this. But I've been silent for far too long." Hearts, prayers, and support poured in as the comments came flooding in. "I'm hurt," she said. "I trusted him, not because of what you all witnessed. I believe we had moved past all of that." Despite her voice cracking, she continued, "Kirk did things that hurt me, yet I forgive him. I was there for him when no one else was. And now, to experience such rudeness once more, I am at a loss for words." Fans were left speechless, devastated, and prepared to fight for her when she abruptly terminated the live stream. The biggest surprise, however, was when Kirk himself appeared on his own show an hour later, for the first time since the scandal began. He was worn out, unshaven, and obviously scared. "I know you're mad," he said. "I understand. I aired large ones. You don't know the whole tale, though." He didn't dispute the club footage or the kiss. However, he asserted that he had been in a dark place, struggling with stress, and acted out in a moment of weakness. "No excuse," he declared, "just the facts." He pleaded with Rasheeda to speak with him and even offered to return to counseling. "I don't want this to cause me to lose my family." However, the harm was already done. Fans viciously dragged him in the comments. "It's too late. The instant you kissed that girl, you lost her. Talk to God, not to us." Then there was stillness. Rasheeda hasn't posted anything new. Kirk has not provided any updates. A community of fans is left wondering, is this the start of a true breakup, or is this just another chapter in their toxic story? Following Kirk's heartfelt appeal, Rasheeda's social media went completely quiet for 3 days. No tales, no posts, not a single like, nothing. The fans began to conjecture. Did she have her suitcases packed? Did she need some alone time? Or was she covertly preparing a more significant move, such as a divorce? Then, however, Rasheeda reappeared like a thunderclap over the internet. She went live once more, but this time she wasn't crying, so it wasn't simply a post. She wasn't frightened. She wasn't even a quiet person. She was energized, wearing a sleek black suit and sunglasses. Rasheeda went live in front of shelves of her merchandise while standing in the center of her apparel store, pressed ATL. Her voice? Freezing. What did she say? It's obvious. "I want to express my gratitude to everyone for their support," she stated. "Let me clarify, though, don't see my silence as a sign of weakness. I have been keeping an eye on everything. Furthermore, the phony excuses are not acceptable to me," she said. I'm tired of being publicly humiliated by someone who should love me. Hashtag Team Rasheeda started trending once more in a matter of minutes. Fans begged her to finally leave Kirk permanently in their comments, referring to her as a queen. Her next statement, however, shocked everyone even more. "I received an offer," she disclosed. "A new show's producers contacted me about something specifically for me. Kirk, no mess. Just myself, my path, and my future plans. And you know what?" "Yes," I replied. Boom. Rasheeda's quick action had completely changed the course of events. She wasn't simply leaving Kirk. Instead, she was using the screen to create her own empire without him. According to insiders, Kirk lost it after the live event. He was reportedly panicking, phoning Rasheeda constantly and even pleading with her to reevaluate the divorce. However, his number was already blocked by Rasheeda. And another twist blew up online just when fans believed the story had reached its culmination. Had Kirk, the young model, been spotted sharing a kiss? She raised her voice. The woman, who went under the name Amira, gave her side in an unexpected interview with a low-key YouTube gossip channel. She shook her head and continued, "I had no idea he was still with his wife. He informed me about their separation, that their only reason for living together was business. I was informed that." According to Amira, Kirk followed her rather than the other way around. She described him as charming, persistent, and promising to take her to Miami for a weekend break, which she claims actually occurred a few days prior to the club kiss going viral. Then the worst part arrived. She continued, her eyes wide. "He told me he loved me, and I took him at his word." The fans were blown away. Kirk was accused of influencing this young woman in addition to lying to Rasheeda. Fans all agreed that Kirk was on the decline, even though some felt sorry for Amira and others criticized her for being foolish. Rasheeda was being courted by several networks when she was back in Atlanta, in addition to working on her new solo project. Rumor has it that VH1 was rushing to keep her on Love and Hip Hop by giving her a significant pay rise and complete creative control so she could return next season without Kirk. It was the pinnacle of power. However, Rasheeda was not supported by everyone. Fans were taken aback when Kai, Kirk's eldest son, stood up for his father in an Instagram story that has since been removed. He wrote, "You guys don't know the whole story. My dad isn't flawless, but this isn't a one-sided situation. Humans are fallible." The reaction was quick. Fans criticized Key for attempting to defend Kirk's actions, particularly in light of Rasheeda's ordeal. Rasheeda's mother, Miss Churling, was having the time of her life, tweeting shady quotes, reposting memes, and even making vague references to publishing a book about how to raise a strong girl in a chaotic environment. One of her posts stated, "Don't worry. Trash always comes out on its own." The true revelation, however, came a few days later when Kirk and Amira were spotted together once more by paparazzi, this time at a late-night restaurant in downtown Atlanta. Their faces were unmistakable despite the graininess of the photographs. Kirk appeared dejected, with his hoodie pulled down. Sitting opposite him with her arms folded, Amira appeared nervous. They weren't laughing, according to sources. They weren't making out. It appeared to be more of a farewell. Was Kirk making an effort to tidy up his mess? Or did he want to hold on to the last person who didn't despise him? In any case, Rasheeda had no intention of turning around. She used simply 3 words in her subsequent post: energy. Changed, indefinitely. Supporters encouraged her because they understood what it meant. Rumors were still circulating, though. Would Kirk be removed from Love and Hip Hop completely? Would Rasheeda leave Atlanta with the children? Did Amira intend to sue Kirk for manipulating her emotions? Then, as the internet was beginning to settle down, a surprise teaser trailer appeared. A black screen, sound of a slow heartbeat. "I gave him everything" is the only quote that flashes in white. "He also caused me chaos." Then there is a brief montage of Rasheeda saying, "Y'all about to see the real me." The title appears, Rasheeda, Unfiltered. Coming soon, the internet went crazy. Rasheeda is shown walking around her store, crying in her car, smiling with friends, and sitting in front of a camera. Officially, it was. Fans were prepared when Rasheeda turned sadness into her own solo performance. Kirk's camp fell silent in the meantime. No fresh interviews, no fresh life. It was just a dull, depressing feed with inspirational sayings and old relics that no one was reading. The man who had formerly proudly stood next to Rasheeda, displaying their power couple brand, was suddenly cast into the background, feeling vulnerable, ashamed, and perplexed at how everything had gone wrong. Rasheeda, too, she was radiant, concentrated, not bothered. In the comments, one fan stated, "Rasheeda at last made her own decision. And for it, we're all here." But there were still unanswered questions because her new program is coming out soon. Would she talk about Amira more? Would a cameo from Kirk be permitted? Would there be more receipts when Jasmine reappeared? Above all, what lies ahead for the most talked-about couple in Atlanta? What a crazy journey! This story between Kirk and Rasheeda has taken unexpected turns, from covert kisses in the club to viral live streams and heartbreaking breakdowns. The young model Amira intervened just as admirers believed everything had calmed down, revealing startling information that completely upended the internet. And now that Rasheeda has formally broken free, started her own solo show, and taken back her peace, it seems like we're seeing the beginning of a new chapter in her life, one in which she is no longer under Kirk's shadow. But let's face it, there is still a lot more to this narrative. Will Kirk be able to re-enter Rasheeda's life? Or is this the last time she will do it? Will Amira divulge any other details regarding their relationship? What about that teaser trailer? Is Rasheeda keeping additional details about her upcoming show a secret? The fan base is sharply split, the drama is intense, and the stakes are great. We would now want to know what you think. Has Kirk stepped over the line too much, or should Rasheeda give him another chance? Does Amira have more to her story than she is revealing, or is she speaking the truth? Don't hesitate to share your opinions in the comments section below. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and enable post notifications if you want to be informed of every nasty turn, explosive revelation, and heartwarming moment from this controversy and others like it. This way, you won't miss any updates. Because this story is only the beginning of celebrity drama, and we assure you that you won't want to miss what comes next. Stay tuned and stay dirty until then.